was 37 years old, I started to notice I was having eyesight issues. I would be typing up a purchase order, and I would read a 6 as an 8, or an 8 as a 0, and some invoices didn't get paid, and I had to go back and squint to see that, oh yeah, I screwed this up. I did it a couple times, and I wasn't sure what to do about it. Overall, my eyesight was good. I could see just fine to drive. I could see at distance. I could still read things. I don't know what was going on. I had a conversation with my locksmith about it one day, and he hands me his glasses, and he says, put these on. I put them on, and he said, all right, now read that. And it was a lot more clear. And I said, yeah, man, but I don't want to go to an optometrist. When I was a kid, I had bifocals. I had thick Coke bottle glasses, right? I actually was able to use those glasses to like amplify sunlight to burn things or whatever. I mean, it was bad, right? These big, heavy, ugly, clunky glasses. And one day when I was a teenager in high school, I took my glasses off to rub my nose. You guys know how, you have them on all day, especially if they're heavy glasses. It makes your nose kind of sore. And I went to go rub my nose. This really pretty girl in class said, you look a lot better without your glasses on. I went home and pitched those motherfuckers, and I have seen great sense. When I was in the military, I would have to get an annual eye exam because we worked with lasers, and they wanted to make sure we weren't going blind and stuff like that. And Chief Petty Officer said, you see like a hawk at night. I had 20/25 vision or something like that. I always had really good vision. I could read like really tiny font on gray paper perfectly fine in low light. I mean, so it was a tough pill to swallow that I've got to put on glasses. And the glasses he handed me were reading glasses. He said, dude, you don't have to go to an optometrist. Go down to Walmart. These things are like $10. And he goes, you can start off at a 1. By the time you get to 3.5, then maybe you got to go to an optometrist. But that could be a long time. So I went and got some 1s, and I wore those until I was about 44. And I have to say that I didn't wear them all the time. I only wore them when I had to read, and I would kind of hide it from people and stuff like that. But that was my first indication that I was truly getting older. And I hadn't even hit 40 yet. So because of that, when I was 37 and having to wear reading glasses and hiding them from people, I started telling people that I was 40. And the reason I started telling people that I was 40 is because I thought, over the next 3 years, if I get used to saying I'm 40, when the big 40 hits, it won't be as painful. It won't be as tough of a pill to swallow. Because I started looking at just, I guess, my life and saying, I don't want to get older. I started thinking about my mortality and all the things I have left to do and everything else. And 40 is not the end of the world. When you're 20 or 30, 40 seems to be old. But after you get past 40, it really isn't. And on my 40th birthday, my friends at work got me a card. And one of my coworkers, who was just a couple years older than me, said, my 40s have been the best years of my life. Enjoy it. Something like that, right? And I read that and I started thinking on it going, really? Really? And I have to say that my 40s have been some of the best years of my life. I've had some terrible things happen to me in my 40s. I have. But I've also had some really good things happen to me. And I've met some good people. I've made some great friends. I went from a career to a job, back to a career. I've watched my kids grow up, and I've been proud of them. And I've kept my health. But I have noticed that some things are starting to kind of, it's a lot more work. When I'm sick, which is a rare thing. I'm still not sick very often, but when I'm sick, it might be weeks or months that I still have a cough or something like that, right? When I get cut or burned or something like that, it might take weeks or months before it's completely healed, even if I'm applying ointment or trying to keep the wound clean or whatever it is like that. I'm not saying it won't heal up to the point where it's no longer bleeding or no longer an open wound or cut or something, but that scar takes a while to go away, or it just seems to take a while. If I hurt my foot or something, I'm walking around with a limp. I'm walking around with a limp longer or something like that. And the aches and pains have gotten worse. My dad has warned me about my arthritis, and it's slowly gone through different parts of my body. Some of my friends who were older said, wait till you're at the range on a cold day and it's in your shoulder and your elbow and you're shooting a rifle. Sure enough, that's already happened. So getting older has been a tough pill to swallow, but I have to say that turning 40 wasn't so bad. And maybe it's because for 3 years I told people I was 40. And maybe it's because, just like what my friend said, my 40s have been some of the best years of my life. So if you're younger and you're afraid of getting older, I understand. If you're younger and you think that you're going to lose something, you are going to lose a little bit. But what you're going to gain is wisdom. That is, if you apply it. If you just keep making the same mistakes over and over again in your 40s as you did in your 20s and 30s, you haven't learned a damn thing. But I have to say that I've learned a lot, and I think I'm a better person. I'm not physically as strong as I was when I was 19. But in my mind, I still feel like I'm 19. And sometimes when I need help lifting something, or my back is sore or something like that, that's my reminder. But I'm not dead yet. And being 40 or being in your 40s, it's not so bad. Thanks for listening.